Hey guys, welcome to the new video. In this video, I'm gonna go over the ear model along with the sheep eye. And so yeah, let's just get into it. I'm gonna start off with the ear model. Okay, so here, starting off with the external auditory meatus. That right there is also known as the bone, but in a general area, in this place right here, where I'm highlighting or coloring, that right there is the external auditory meatus, and then here is the internal auditory meatus. The eustachian tube is this one right here, going through right here. That right there is the eustachian tube. And then the nerves back here, there's two nerves, but you can just name them as one. You can name it as the auditory nerve. Now this ossicle bone right here, I'm gonna go over once I get into the other ones. Okay. So in here, this thing right here, it should be in this general area, like right here. If you see something in there, that thing is called the tympanic membrane or the eardrum. Okay, now in the eardrum, it is connected to the first ossicle bone. The first ossicle bone is called the malleus. Malleus. And then connected to the malleus is the incus. Incus. That right there is the incus. And then connected to the incus is the stapes. The stapes is this bone right here. Stapes. Okay, I'm gonna go over this big old structure right now. Oops, dropped my Apple pen. Okay. So this snail-shaped thingy right here. Actually, okay, before I go over it, this model right here I found on YouTube. It looks fairly similar to the one that she has in the lab. So yeah. So again, this right here is the cochlea. The cochlea. Now, this big structure going around like that, including those, that right there is called the vestibule. And if you want to be specific, this one right here is the saccule. That right there is the saccule. And then this right here is the utricle. The utricle. Okay, and then finally these canals right here. Oops, wrong one. These canals right here, they're known as the semicircular canal. Semicircular canals. Oops, there. Oh yeah. Again, this is the what's it called? The vestibule, right? So now this is the one from her lab list, or sorry, from her lab classroom. So again, this right here is a semicircular canal. Right here is the utricle, and then right here is the saccule. So again, utricle right here, utricle right here, and then saccule right here. Cochlea and the auditory nerves. And oh right, now going over the oval window and the round window, the oval window is being covered by the stapes. So if you go back to the picture up here, as you can see, if you remove the stapes in here, you can see the oval window. The oval window, and then you can actually see the round window right here. So yeah, so the round window is right here. There's a round window. So yeah, that should be it. All right, now going over the eye model. Before I go over the sheep model, I think it's best to go over the human eye model diagram. And so yeah, let's just get it over with. This should help you, give you like a general area as to where the things may be when we look at the sheep eye. So behind the eye, these yellow things. Oh, what is that? Okay, so the yellow things right here, those are the optic nerve. That right there is the optic nerve. We also have to know the retina. The retina is this yellow structure going like that. That right there is the retina. You also have to know the sclera. The sclera is the outer white layer of the eye, going around like that. That right there is the sclera. We also have to know the ciliary body, which is this one here, including this one too. That right there is the ciliary body. We also have to know the cornea. The cornea, I'm gonna try my best to outline it, but that right there is the cornea. It's the outer layer. The iris, which is the color of your eye, which gives it like the pigment. That right there is the iris. And then the pupil is just like that little hole right there. It's a little hole that goes through the lens. Well, it shows the lens, so you can see. So just know that the pupil is the hole, and then the lens is this big structure right here. Okay, with the aqueous humor, it's this right here. That right there is the aqueous humor. It can also be known as the anterior chamber. The anterior chamber. And then of course right here is the vitreous humor, which is also known as the posterior chamber. The posterior chamber. Now this is just from a human eye model. The missing ones that I didn't go over, I'm gonna go over in the sheep model because that's the more important one. All right, now going over the sheep eye model. This is the one that she has in the video. I just kind of like took it out and I'm gonna identify it right now. So this is the white structure right here. Out there, that's called the sclera. That It's called the sclera. Um, you see this like foggy looking structure? That right there is the cornea. The cornea. If once you remove the cornea, it exposes the iris. The iris. The iris. And then here is like that little hole. That right there is the pupil. 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 Hold on, give me a second. Okay. These little like things over here, that is called the extrinsic eye muscle. Extrinsic eye muscle. And then here underneath the eyelash, that right there is the conjunctiva. Conjunctiva. And then I'll provide a picture here showing you as to what that looks like in a human. Okay, and then with the optic nerve, you can't really see it, but behind the eye, you will see the optic nerve. So, it should be there. I'll try to provide another picture here showing you as to what the optic nerve may look like during the exam. Okay, so to avoid any confusion, so here again is, no, not here again, I just barely went over this, but here is the posterior side. This is where we're looking at. This is the posterior side. And then this right here, I'm going to spoil it. That right there is the lens. And then if you go to this model right here, that is the same eye, except without the lens. If you remove the lens, is what it would look like. And then here is the anterior view, the one that we're used to looking at. Okay, now let's get back in the video. All right, now going over the internal eye model, this is what it looks like. So this is what it would technically look like if you were to cut it in half. Okay, so you see that big ball structure right here? That right there is the lens. Lens. And then this thing right here kind of like crumbled up. It used to cover the whole thing. Now it's crumbled up. That right there is the retina. The retina. With this, it has to be in a black structure, by the way. That thing is called the pigmented layer or the choroid layer. Pigmented layer or the choroid layer. And then this shiny thingy, it's not in the lab list. I'm not going to go over it. But just know if it's like stuck in here into the black area, that is called the pigmented layer. See these little like strands? I want to say strands, but they're basically going like that. That thing is called the ciliary processes or the ciliary process of body. Okay. And then here, this structure right here is the iris. Iris. And this is what it would look like in the backside. We're looking at this if it was in the backside. Now this is the front side, the one we're used to looking at. So here is also the iris, but in the front side. Anterior view. There we go. That's the word I was trying to say. That should be it with the real sheep eye model.